Vegetables, gloves, and a side towel. So that if you touch something and you need to wipe something, you got them. They're all brand new clean. Have at it, guys. If you don't want the gloves, I'm family, so I'm cool. I can eat your cooties and everything else. It doesn't bother me. Secondly, I wanted to say there is cut-resistant gloves that I have in my pocket of my chef's bag. Get it? Because we're going to do switch. And you punch it in. And then bam, there's all these fish recipes.
Food gawker.
So if you can't figure out and you don't want to get all your books out, you don't get that kind of patience, this is a good source. Also, you can Google stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, you can see it. If it inspires you, you're going to say, wow, I want to make a whole roast of fish like that and put those cuts in it like that and make a little salad to go inside. Bam, for my family. I mean, so it's kind of a muse. It can be a little bit inspirational. So I don't do that anymore. Food gawker.
But it's an actual app.
It's an app that you can download for free. And I do suggest it. I don't like the word recommend because then I have to live with it. So if you don't like it, then you're mad at me.
Could I have a piece of paper out of that notebook,
Yes.
please?
Anyone else?
Would you like your own notebook?
Only if you have an extra.
Yeah, I do. Oh,
Anyway,
So I'm happy with a piece of paper.
So.
Thank you. I'm all about taking notes.
oh, the lesson. It says lesson, Jim. Fried cauliflower. Okay, so we need to make yogurt sauce. Frying of cauliflower is going to be simple. Now, there's a couple of things we're going to do as a group, and there's a few things we're going to do as individuals. That's why in front of you, you have your own stuff, but then there are a couple of things we're going to do together. For example, this yogurt sauce and the fried cauliflower we're going to do together. So I'm going to try to not take up too much space. This here has some vegetable oil in it. It's about that much because I'm going to fry enough cauliflower to feed all of us. Okay? So I have 2 heads of cauliflower, and this is just an appetizer, mind you. When you can peel it or not. It's perfectly fine unpeeled. I don't peel it. I just cut the ends off, take the paper off, and I go like this on my mandolin. And it comes out to really thin strips, but then I dice it into little, we'll call minced. And then I want to put it in a colander with salt so that all the water leaches out, so that when I add it to the yogurt, I don't have a wet yogurt sauce. I want a yogurt sauce that has body to it. So that's
but
what
you
we're
want
gonna do.
basically, Jim, you want the zucchini minced. I mean, not the
Yeah, that
zucchini, the
works.
cucumber.
I'll just give you a quick synopsis on what we're ultimately going to do. So it's the yogurt sauce, which I just described to you. We're going to do the rice with spices, and we're going to add herbs at the end and toss it. We're going to do vegetables, and we're going to saute them in those pans in front of you. And you're going to cut them the way you want. I suggest small pieces, like bite-sized pieces is a good term to use. The fish, I'm going to show you how to cut it. You're going to see it. I'm going to give everybody their own piece of fish to season the way they want to season it and cook it as long as they want to cook it. And I'm going to show you what that is, because there's a certain thing with something like salmon that you can eat it raw if you wanted to, and you can eat it rare if you wanted to, and you can eat it well done if you wanted to. So this will be your fish, your choice. And then we'll do the pie. I'll give you everyone a piece of dough, and I'll explain the dough to you, and you'll roll it out, and then you'll put the filling in. We're going to make the filling together. Everybody will just take some and put it into their, and you're going to shape it so yours will not look like mine, and yours won't look like his. Before we get started, ultimately, I need to know your comfort zone is you season with your senses. If you sense that soup that you just put some salt in does not have enough salt, you need to trust yourself and put some more salt in it. But don't put too much, because then you're really going to have to figure out a way to get it out, which is not so easy. So that's why I like to season as I go along, and I like to season in stages so that I don't overwhelm whatever I'm trying to cook. Because, like I said, you can always add more. That's my...
Yogurt
Now,
sauce.
what I want to do is give everyone some herbs, a bunch of different herbs. This is cilantro. I want you to divide the cilantro up amongst yourselves. So there's 6 of you. Make sure there's enough that 6 people get some cilantro. Put it on your cutting board. Don't worry about the floor. I'm not worried about the floor. Then we're going to do the same thing with this mint. So So I'm gonna start here at this end, and you just pass it down. And
What's that?
each
This
bunch
one.
is for
Oh, you
6
need some?
people. Each bunch is for 6
Why
people.
would you put it on?
So you take 1/6 of whatever I give you, approximately.
That's what I see what he's doing.
And if
That-
you don't
that's
know
enough,
what
guys.
something is, please ask. I'll be happy to tell you. That's my job over here. This here is the Italian portion. And I have some additional.
Jim, honey, you didn't have mint on the recipe.
It's gonna go in the yogurt garnish for the cauliflower.
Did you
So
get some of this?
It's not a
No, that's
prerequisite.
just cilantro.
I need to discuss a little component about herbs. The herbs that I just gave you to select are called fine herbs. That means it's something you kind of don't want to cook. You want to garnish, you want to season with it, or something like a rustic herb, you can cook with it because it's rustic, it's robust. It can handle the oven, it can handle the heat. It's designed for this. This happens to be thyme.
May I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
There's a lot of stuff on your cutting board, so what you need to do is make space.
Cutting board. That's not my cutting board. This is my cutting board.
Huh? No, I'm not talking about you.
You said on my cutting board.
Our. Okay, let me start again. There's a lot of stuff on your cutting board. So, I strongly suggest that while you're cutting, you put everything off except what you're working with, because otherwise you're just going to get the towel. I suggest you put in your pocket so you can wipe your hands with it easily. Yeah, so you want to clear off your cutting space as much as possible. So you make spaces. Are you not using this? You're doing it together?
Oh, you know, I didn't even realize.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, there's a whole other
Okay.
station here. So
Okay.
what I would do is just move everything over here for now, and then you need put this in your pocket. You won't need this till later, so I'm just going to put it here for now. And we need to get you some herbs. I just need more herbs.
Here, we got it here.
You got more herbs? Okay.
Yeah, we took them
Yeah,
out.
so everybody, so take the mint, the parsley, and cilantro. And the dill. Yeah. Take a little of each, yeah.
And there's extra up in this bowl,
In which bowl?
that bowl right there.
Okay, so what don't you have? You don't have the parsley and cilantro, right? Here's a little cilantro. You have that, and that's, you don't need that much mint. The mint is just gonna be a garnish, so you don't want a lot of mint, guys.
Okay.
The mint is just a garnish, so you don't need a lot. Okay.
This one.
Jim, they're not gonna be chopping up the mint with the other stuff, right?
Everything is going to be controlled by my direction because you have to allow me because I have a focus and I need to stay on it or else. none of
Well,
this
we
is
need to make space though.
I won't, we've already
Excuse me.
done that. That part is taken care of. And then I'll begin to tell you what's on your board that I gave everybody some of. In the meantime, if you ever get cauliflower, everybody should come closer to me so you can watch me what I'm going to do for here. Because this is the group thing. So when you have...
So why don't you guys do that, and while Jim is preparing his next step.
Can you dump this in that? So now when it comes to the yogurt sauce,
I'm gonna come around.
so when you have your
Yeah, let me give you the water.
ready, bring it over here and stick it in this bowl.
You want it just sliced or you want it chopped?
I want you to cut it any way you want. I showed you how I do it, and there's no rules about cooking
Oh, the cauliflower.
most of the time. Sometimes there are rules, but in this case, if you make it a log, it's a log. If you make it a slice, it's a slice.
So you want the cauliflower back, right?
Because we're going to fry it up later and eat it. See, this is part of our food stuff. If you didn't do a good job with the cauliflower, try some more. I'm going to give you some more. Because I like you to learn by doing it, not by just me telling you. And if you come back and get some more cauliflower and cut it up, you're going to actually have more practice. Oh, okay. So bring it on over. And then that way, that's okay. It's not going to hurt nothing. Okay. So I'll go ahead and cut these out. And then I'm going to need to watch because I don't want to do it without you seeing what I'm doing. So they're guards. Where spike it and no cutting of fingers. Also, cut resistant gloves. So if I'm going to be on that mandolin going like this with my right hand, these gloves go in either hand. I'm just going to go like this. Because if I hit that blade with this glove, probably save my finger. I mean, it's not cut, how do you say, proof, but resistant.
Resistant.
It's resistant. It's cut resistant.
That's
like a
close
raincoat that's wet resistant.
Don't get too
You
crazy.
still got wet, but not as wet. But you don't want to do
So
this.
I go
yet.
like this, boom, to get the plastic off. That's just my technique. Everybody has to find their own comfort zone. So, and then once I've done that, I just simply put it on my board.
But can you show them how to cut it by hand too?
Okay, I'm going to do that in a second.
Because they're not going to use that.
I'm going to stop at the part that is about the same size as the one I gave you, okay? So that way I can show you how to do it by hand.
So would you ever do that in a food processor?
No, because I don't want it to be smashed. This is cutting it, slicing it very fine, sharp.
It's going to get pureed too fast.
Yeah, in a food processor.
So I'm just going to stop right there. And then what I end up doing is just getting it into small dice, because that made my job that much easier. And I leave the tip of my knife on the board always, because it keeps me in control of what I'm doing. And I don't need to even put my hand near there. You see that? By using that technique, I don't run the risk of cutting myself. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to show you techniques that you don't run the risk of cutting yourself. Now, if you're concerned or not sure, put the glove on. I mean, there's no law. I'd rather keep my digits than worry about looking like that, right? So because that's flat, turn yours flat. Everybody go to your station, and we'll do this together. I would suggest putting your finger like a C on the top with the blade in between your two fingers, and then just push. Don't try to saw, don't try to, just push down, right down the middle. Bam! So now I got another flat piece. You always want to have things flat as much as possible, because you don't run the risk of slipping and booming that. You don't have to worry about having that glove, because boom.
Everybody following?
Yep.
Okay,
So-
if you want us to slow down, let us know.
So what I'm saying is I think it's a little thick for dice, so if you put your hand there and cut
Flat,
right through
flat,
the center.
your palm on it.
Right
Put
through
your
the
palm on it.
center.
Mhm.
Right through the center. So you cut it all the way
Put
through.
your palm on it. There you go.
And take it slow. And you can also use your fingertips if it's easier for you, but do it slow and saw. This is where you want to saw, because by sawing you don't run the risk of slipping. Okay? And do it slowly. There's no rush. There's no reason to rush. Okay. So now you take that piece you just cut in half that way. You see what I see that? So now you turn it the long way, and you simply same C, but the knife you want touching your knuckles. So by having a C and the knife touching the knuckles, you're not running the risk of cutting your finger. But you make sure that that knife is touching your knuckles and your hand is in a C. By doing that, I could talk to you and not even look what I'm doing.
Okay, Jim.
Got it, he's got it. He's got it. Okay, so now we're going to cut it the long way with knuckles, as I just told you, into thin strips. Thin strips. Okay, now if you want to take those two pieces and
They
separate
can't
them,
quite do it the way you're doing it because your piece was bigger than theirs.
I'm going to come over there. Let me go to each person and see what's going on here. Let me show you something. Okay, so I will suggest.
Okay, good. That's good. Now, remember what he said? Keep the tip and just go down like that. Okay?
Okay.
How are you doing? Good, that's good.
Just keep doing it. So, let me show you something. Dice. Everybody knows what a dice is. So you've got the long strips, you turn them sideways and dice them. In as small as possible, but take your time. Do not rush. And when in doubt, put your hand on top of the knife, like this lady's doing right here. Because you do not run the risk of cutting your fingers if you do it that way. So that's a smart, safe way to go about this. All right.
You want to do yours?
I need you to give me the colander.
Calendar is right up there.
So what I'm going to do is put all under. So if you don't have a colander and you have a strainer, that works just as well. So now that I've put the cucumber in here, coming to the sink where everybody can see me, I'm going to take some salt and I'm going to season this cucumber. And because I don't need, because it's in the sink, I don't need a bowl, because all the water that's going to come from that is going to go in the sink. So, and then in a minute, it's going to leach out all the water that I don't. Just put all your raw vegetables into this bowl. So I'm going to go around and we'll make a collection, because what we're going to do with our vegetable lesson is we're going to have cooked vegetables and raw vegetables, and we're going to serve them together. I learned this from a chef, not him personally, but his technique. His name is Alan Ducasse, and he's world-renowned French chef. But he's known for taking raw asparagus and putting it with cooked asparagus, or a cooked apple tart and putting raw apples on top of it, or taking, but not everything you can eat raw. This you can, cucumbers. You can also cook with cucumbers. So what I'm going to do, everyone put their cucumbers in that bowl when they're done with them, and we're going to proceed onward to try to make our yogurt sauce so that we can now begin to make some other things. So we have our cauliflower that we're going to fry when it comes time to eat. It literally takes 3 minutes to cook this cauliflower in that oil once we get it hot enough. Okay, so the next component that goes into our yogurt sauce is red onion. I like for the amount that I'm going to make, I call them batches. So the batch that I'm making is a 40-ounce container of yogurt, 1 whole English cucumber, and 1/2 of a red onion. I always cut off the top, not the bottom, because
Guys,
the bottom is the root end.
They're not watching. I want to go watch. Cause
The root end, and you want to hold it down as much as you can, and then you want to simply saw, because saw is safer. If I start slicing, I might slice into my hand. So I'd rather just hold it down. And the thing is that this is still round, so it's not as safe as now. Now it's safer because it's flat. So I never ever cut off the root end of an onion until I decide how I'm going to use the onion. And so I'm going to show you 2 things. I'm going to now cut the root right through it in half. And you're going to end up doing this too with the onion that you have in front of you, but not the second, because now I'm showing you. Then you want to take off the outer peel. Then, because of the dish that I'm making, I want to dice it like I did the cucumber, but because I don't got time right now, I'm going to go ahead and put my glove on.
show them how to dice it. They're going to do
I'm
it.
going to, but I'm going to show them that I'm going to go ahead and knock it out right now with the mandolin. And that onion is cheap, so don't risk your fingers to save a little bit of onion. Get rid of the thing, okay? So now that I've really made it really a nice slice, I'll get to it. Hang on, please. Then I want to make these into dice also. I want really fine components in my yogurt sauce. I don't want to bite into a log of onion. I want to bite into minced onion. So this is going to go in with the cucumber. And then if I were to mince an onion, which you're going to do, I would simply peel it again, keep the root on. I like putting my hand like this, like I showed you with the cucumber, and bringing my knife in like this, downward towards the cutting board, not upwards towards my hand. That way I don't run the risk of cutting myself. You see, that's the whole point. And by putting my palm, I don't have my digits in the way, and by using my palm, I can put a lot more force down on that onion to keep it from moving from that table, okay? Because it ain't going nowhere. Now I got to get a little more finesse. So I take the tip of the knife and my fingers like a C again, but a closed C, because I'm just simply telling the knife how much I want to cut. And you do it slowly. There's no rush. You can do this fast if you've done it a bunch of times, but until you have, you're better off.
The key to what Jim's doing, if you notice, is he's leaving the root intact. Right? So he's not cutting all the way through to the root, so it stays together.
Right. So now I can cut it crosswise. See what I'm doing? Can you see?
So he cut it this way first, and then on top.
So now I have perfectly symmetrical dices. See again, I don't save that. It's not worth cutting my digit off. So that's how you have those.
Rice.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn my little convection. Oh, come on, dude. Can't put your knife in there, so we don't have a problem with that. So what else is going on here?
So what we do,
Okay, there's things
what we
that are
use
keeping
is
me-
an
oh,
induction
cucumber,
oven. Okay, and you're using, I mean,
Sorry.
so top you're using induction
Come
burners,
on, dude.
and you can only use certain types of pots on them. They have to have stainless steel in the bottom.
This is playing fun and games with me. Come on, dude. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is this giving me an issue?
And these are copper pots, but they have
Ah, there we go.
stainless steel in the bottom.
It likes me again. Okay, so we're gonna go 8, and we're gonna get. So we're gonna put those beautiful onions that you diced in here. Not all of them, but some of them are already. Oh. So I'm gonna guesstimate 6 of us. Watch this. A little bit more. See, you gotta trust yourself.
You know how hard it is to get recipes out of him?
Oh man, it's ridiculous. It's
How much
ridiculous.
did you put in? I don't know.
Okay,
like
that. How
enough.
much is that? That's a cup's worth of onion, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
You see?
Full top.
Oh man, stop all that. It's a cup's worth of onion, y'all. It's a little diced onion, a little oil. We want to caramelize those things. We want them to get like golden brown without burning them. Why? Because it's going to make that rice taste better. So we're going to let that cook by itself. In the meantime, we're going to finish our yogurt sauce in here.
We already have them in the sink.
No, I want.
Oh.
They've been drained. Or
Okay.
They've been.
You want me to squeeze them first?
No. Just dump. No. Dump it. Yeah. Put your little fingers in here. We love your cooties. There you go. Bam. Look at that. We're chefs around here, guys. We taste stuff. We actually cook food. Okay. So then we're gonna put the onion in here. And then I'm going to show you how to treat garlic. I got to give everybody some garlic. It's going to be fun. What's this? You got to smash garlic and chop it.
Yogurt
Really
sauce.
safe, fast way. I learned this from Jacques Pepin. Clove. And I'm going to show you. When you get a whole, this is called a head of garlic. And you want to go. You see what I just did? I broke it up with the palm of my hand. So one for you. One for you. So we don't need all these garlic things that are left, but I just wanted to show you. I'm sure you guys can do your own karate in your own time. You don't need to do karate in my time. So we're gonna get, and then we're gonna do some more karate, but with only a clove.
I do back of the mallet on mine. I do mallet.
Yeah, same idea.
Okay. So I'm
Smash
gonna take a clove,
That's right.
and I'm gonna demonstrate what you do to a clove of garlic.
Put it this way, honey.
Can you let me do it? Because I don't. Let me do it, please. Thank you. Okay. So you take the side of a big heavy knife and you just simply lay it on the garlic and smash it. Because that releases those great flavors that's in garlic.
And some of your frustration.
And that too.
And take the skin off.
You want us to do it?
You take the skin off. Everybody do the smashing. You don't have to do it as aggressively as I did, but the idea is there.
I hear that smashing happening.
So Jacques Pepin would always smash it like that, and then chop it like this. You see, the hand on top of the knife, tip on the board, hand on top.
Everybody look, please.
And then he would slide it.
Okay, they didn't see
scrape it
that.
off. We'll do it again. I'm not done, Donna. Please. Okay. You see how I'm chopping this garlic to make mince? This is how you do it when you taking it from a raw state. This is the best part of my teaching that I enjoy to share the most, is because I want people to cook things from a raw state, not from a processed state. So, you know, and one day you might get lazy and you want to just put something in the microwave. That's up to you. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue to mince. We'll call this mincing of smashed garlic. Okay? Mincing of smashed garlic. All right?
Anybody need help?
Please take your time. So this garlic, the one that I'm using is going in this yogurt sauce. Only one for this amount, because I want the flavor without the sharpness that garlic produces. So you want to mince it pretty finely.
Is it empty?
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
put the
use it.
garlic in it. Oh, no, I got small bowls for that, that's fine.
Cool.
I can pass the bowl down.
Is I'm going to cook some black mustard seeds. I'm going to use your burner to do it because okay, and there's also to demonstrate how these work. These are induction burners, which you don't run the risk of catching your place on fire or even burning yourself, which is kind of cool. And it takes cast iron, it takes stainless steel, and it takes glass, I think, but I don't use glass for this. Anyway, so you want to turn it on, you're going to put sear, and then you want to lower it to, let's say, for what I'm trying to do, let's just, that's fine, okay? Now you want to put it in there in a dry pan. So I'm only, for the amount that I'm making, my guesstimation, I'll tell you in inches in a second, but I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle those in there until it basically covers the base of that pan.
What is that there?
These are black mustard seeds.
And Jim, can you explain why you toast them?
I do because it brings out the flavor. This is a
And you can do that with anything, cumin seeds,
yeah,
cardamom
any
seeds?
whole spice. If it's already powdered, you don't want to do this.
And then you
just
can
use
grind it.
and you can use
Yeah,
a coffee
like with a
grinder,
pestle
or you can use a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
I do like a lot. This is such a small thing that you don't have to do that. So I'm going to crank this up a little bit because I want this to happen quickly. So, but you want to watch it because what's, oh man, come on, we're going to do that. What you want is, it's going to be like popcorn. It's going to start popping. So what I've learned to do because of that is I would put a lid on it, a glass one, so I can see what's going on. So I can just go like this. So if it starts popping, it'll go right back in the pan hopefully. But I can you fill up the teapot with water so we can have hot water to pour? I use brown basmati rice as my favorite rice of choice, but there are no rules. Jasmine rice is a nice rice.
And you're toasting the rice now.
I'm going to toast it in those onions.
What kind was the first one you liked?
This is the one I like. Basmati rice brown.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to shake that in there. And that's going to triple in volume. So in my mind, I just made 6 portions of rice for us. What do you guys think?
Toasting
Agree
with the
me?
onions.
Sure, I love rice.
She loves rice. I'm listening to you.
I love rice.
I love rice.
I love rice.
Oh, I'm done. You guys are out of
We
control.
like basmati rice.
You guys are out of control. Who likes saffron?
Yeah.
Come on, chef. Toast those up, man.
Where do you buy your produce?
Different locations. My favorite is Detweiler's in Sarasota.
Yeah.
My second
Soon
favorite
coming to
is,
Palmetto.
yeah, I can't wait.
Detweiler's is called?
Yeah, it's
Detweiler's.
by,
So,
it's
this
by,
is very
that-
strong.
Mhm.
Saffron.
Was that
Jim,
what
what's the name of the street it's by?
Lockridge and
Lockridge
University.
and University. You make a right on Lockridge going east.
Coming
Lockwood Ridge.
Lockwood, and then you make a right turn.
Where's the tomatoes from?
Those are from
Oh,
Detweiler.
okay. They look awesome.
They're actually from Canada, so I can give you the origin of things, but where I actually purchased them is a different story.
Those are called
What?
heirlooms.
Heirloom?
The reason they're called heirlooms is because they're seeds that have been passed down through generations
That's what I'm
without
saying,
being like manufactured or altered genetically as they are in the supermarkets.
Okay.
So they all look a little different. They're not like they look exactly the same.
So we're making a rice pilaf, and we'll call it.
So that's saffron too?
That was saffron, and now we're going to add
What
a
is
couple.
saffron?
Saffron are from a flower. They're the pistils.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Pistils. And they're really hard to cultivate, and they're really expensive. And the best ones that I've ever experienced are from Kashmir, North India, where Kashmir, Pakistan, India, they kind of converge with each other. The most common ones you'll ever find are from Spain, which are really good also. But I will go online and order from Calustian in New York City. They got everything.
Calustian, Kalustyan. Great spice store in New York City. You can order online.
I love ordering online.
Yeah, it's easy. And they have every ingredient you could ever imagine.
I like that too.
Yeah. I don't know
Their
what's going on
website
with
is so
it.
much fun.
So that's not hot?
Well, some reason it's not cooperating. Okay. I'll figure that out in a second. But in the meantime, I want to see if it's that
Okay,
pan.
so
It could be that pan. I might have to switch.
saute the
Let
onions,
me just switch.
add rice, toast the rice, and then add your toasted black mustard seeds.
Hmm?
little
You
bit.
saw that. You saw that, right? You said, oh yeah, snap, bam.
Into the rice, the cardamom pods smashed, and 1 cinnamon stick.
I got a bunch of comedians here. Did I tell you? Okay. Right. So, oh, I know. Another
Continue
thing
toasting
I would
the
like to
rice.
add to this is ginger and turmeric. So, everyone has ginger and turmeric on their board. So, what I want you to do is simply go over to the sink and hold them in your hand and wash them under cold water, because we're going to keep the skins on there.
Let me just show you what they are. This is ginger, the large one.
Ginger and cardamom.
This is the ginger.
And turmeric.
The
Fresh
turmeric is very deep orange inside.
It's not cooperating.
Great for inflammation.
Dude, that's not.
Yeah, I don't see the turmeric, but I
Oh, there it is.
With your turmeric and your thing, it's just simply carve it like any of the ugly pieces that might be on there. Cut them up, and anything that looks too woodsy, like it's a piece of wood, you don't want that. And then just chop it. Period. As small as you can. Figure out a way to chop it. No, I want to see, because
Putting it in the freezer is a no-no.
No, it's not. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. No, it's too cheap to do that.
Okay.
The thing that I try to stress as much as possible is to try to start your cooking with a whole food product, like a whole mango if I'm making salsa, or a whole onion if I'm making.
Okay,
Pepper.
salt goes in the mixture.
I like pepper grinders. I don't care what kind of grinder it is, as long as it's from a grinder. And the thing about a pepper grinder, you can determine how thick or how crunchy the peppercorns are going to be. If you have a pepper mill like this, if you make it really tight, it's going to be pretty fine. If you loosen it up a little bit, it's going to make it more coarse.
Of course.
That's the story with that. All
Of
this
course.
thing now needs is simple yogurt. Everything else is in there. Bam! Yogurt sauce is
Well,
done for our first joint.
did you put your garlic and turmeric?
No turmeric goes in here. It's only